Hey there, I'm Dr. James Whittaker, and today we're going to have one of the most important conversations you'll ever hear about intimacy. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because what I'm about to share could transform not just your performance, but your entire relationship. Gentlemen, let's be real for a moment. How many times have you wondered, am I actually giving her the kind of pleasure she craves? It's not something you'd ask your friends over coffee, and you won't find an honest answer in most places online. Because the world of pornography and locker room bravado has fed men more lies than truth when it comes to intimacy. Here's the deal. The way you move, the way you control yourself, and the way you connect in bed can make the difference between leaving her quietly unsatisfied or making her body and mind light up in a way that keeps her coming back for more. I want to show you the second path. Today, I'm going to give you 5 medically backed, real-world techniques that every man should know to instantly improve intimacy, last longer, and actually give her the experience she wants, not the one you think she wants. So before we get into it, take a second right now, hit that like button, and drop a quick comment telling me where you're watching from. I always love seeing our community of men from around the world come together here. Just last month, I had a 44-year-old patient, Michael, walk into my office carrying a weight I see in so many men's eyes. Dr. Whittaker, he said, I feel like I'm failing her. I know she cares about me, but I can tell something's missing. I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. What Michael didn't realize is that he wasn't broken. He was just following all the wrong advice. The same advice that's been passed down through generations of men who learned about intimacy from all the wrong sources. The myths that are destroying your confidence. Here's the first myth that's probably sabotaging you right now. Sex is about size and speed. That's the message men pick up from pornography. Bigger, faster, harder. But in reality, that's not what creates true satisfaction for most women. Science tells a completely different story. Studies published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine consistently show that for women, technique, emotional connection, and attentiveness are far more important than size or how long you can maintain aggressive intensity. Think about it biologically. The female body responds to rhythm, variety, clitoral stimulation, and emotional presence, not endless pounding. Yet many men, good men, carry around silent anxiety, thinking they're not enough. And that anxiety shows up in the bedroom, finishing too quickly, getting stuck in their head, missing the signals she's giving. So let's clear the air right now. You don't need to be bigger. You need to be smarter, more present, and more in tune with her body. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you today. If you're new here, I'm Dr. James Whittaker. I'm a board-certified physician with over 15 years of experience working directly with men's health and intimacy issues. I've spoken with thousands of men in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, who all ask the same question in different ways. How can I be better? How can I last longer? How can I make sure my partner is truly satisfied? And after all these years, I can tell you this. There's a pattern. The men who get it right aren't always the fittest, the youngest, or the most endowed. They're the men who listen, adapt, and apply a few key techniques that work with female biology, not against it. Let me ask you something. When you first get intimate, what's your instinct? For most men, arousal builds quickly, and the urge is to dive right in with speed and intensity. But here's the problem. The female body isn't built like that. Biologically, women take significantly longer to become fully aroused. The vaginal walls need time to relax and expand. Blood flow needs to build in her pelvic region. Natural lubrication increases gradually. If you go in too hard, too fast, her body may not be ready. That means discomfort, even pain. And emotionally, it can leave her feeling disconnected. So what's the fix? Patience. Start slow. Think of it like warming up before an intense workout. Gentle, deliberate movements at first. Shallow entry. Focus on closeness and connection. What happens biologically when you do this? Her blood vessels dilate properly. The vaginal opening expands naturally. Nerve endings become more sensitive. Emotionally, she feels cared for and cherished. Practically, you're setting the stage for pleasure that builds exponentially instead of fizzling out. My patient David learned this lesson the hard way. For years, he'd been rushing into intensity, wondering why his wife seemed distracted or uncomfortable. When he started implementing the slow start approach, he told me, "Dr. Whittaker, it's like I discovered a completely different woman. She's more responsive, more passionate, more connected than I ever imagined possible. Trust me on this. When you slow down at the beginning, you unlock incredible intensity later. Here's where most men miss a massive opportunity. Teasing is one of the most powerful tools you can use, but 90% of men either skip it entirely or do it wrong. Why is teasing so effective? Because sexual pleasure isn't just about stimulation, it's about anticipation. When you build her arousal and then deliberately pull back for a moment, her body craves more. You're literally programming her nervous system to respond more intensely when you give it back. Here's how you do it in practice. Find a rhythm she clearly enjoys. Stay with it long enough for her to get into it, then deliberately slow down. Shorter movements, less intensity. Watch how her body reacts. She may squirm, pull you closer, even verbally ask for more. When you finally return to that rhythm, the pleasure multiplies exponentially. But here's the critical warning. Don't tease right before she's about to climax. That can feel like stealing the moment from her. Teasing works best early on to build anticipation, and during the middle phases to intensify arousal. Think of it this way. Would you rather hand her a single spark or light a fire that keeps burning? Teasing gives her the fire. Here's a mistake I see men make constantly. They find a rhythm that feels good, and then they get stuck there. Same depth, same angle, same speed. It works for a while, but the human body adapts quickly. Nerve endings desensitize. What felt incredible 5 minutes ago starts to feel repetitive or even numb. The solution? Strategic variety. Sometimes slow and deep, sometimes faster and shallow, sometimes pause entirely and switch positions or angles. Sometimes focus on grinding, other times on penetration. Biologically, this variation keeps nerve endings alert and responsive. Emotionally, it keeps her engaged and guessing in the best way. Practically, it helps you manage your own stamina because you're not exhausting yourself with one repetitive pattern. I had a patient, Robert, who described his breakthrough with this technique. "Dr. Whittaker, I used to think consistency was key, but when I started varying my approach, sometimes slow and intense, sometimes playful and light, it was like I unlocked a whole new level of her responsiveness." Remember this principle. Rhythm is good, but variety keeps the symphony alive. This one is an absolute game changer, and it's based on fundamental anatomy that most men completely misunderstand. Most men think intimacy is all about in and out penetration. But here's the secret that changes everything. For most women, the clitoris, not the vagina, is the most sensitive source of pleasure. Now, the clitoris isn't just a small external structure you can see. It's actually a much larger organ that extends internally, with legs that wrap around the vaginal canal. That means when you press your pelvis against hers and focus on grinding motions, instead of just thrusting, you're stimulating a huge network of nerve endings. Try this in positions like missionary or when she's on top. Focus on grinding motions, circles, angled pressure, steady rocking. Keep your pelvis close to hers. Maintain that firm, consistent contact. Biologically, you're hitting her most responsive nerve network. Emotionally, she feels enveloped and deeply connected to you. Practically, grinding helps you last longer because it's typically less stimulating for you than aggressive thrusting. That's what I call a perfect win-win. She gets more of what she needs, and you gain better control. 5. The power of presence. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. Your greatest tool isn't your size, your stamina, or even these techniques. It's your awareness, her breathing patterns, her sounds, the way her body moves against you, the subtle changes in her muscle tension. These are constant signals telling you what feels good and what doesn't. Every woman is different. What worked perfectly for one partner may not work at all for another. Pornography doesn't teach you this. Locker room stories don't teach you this. But her body will tell you everything if you're present enough to listen. Biologically, tuning in helps you adjust to her unique arousal cycle in real time. Emotionally, it shows her that you care deeply about her experience, not just your own. Practically, it prevents you from falling into robotic patterns that bore both of you. Presence is power. Don't just go through the motions. Be there with her, fully engaged and responsive. Let me give you a practical action plan that incorporates all 5 secrets. Start slow. Let her body warm up properly. Build the foundation for incredible pleasure. Tease strategically. Build anticipation early in your encounter. Create that fire of desire. Mix your tempo. Variety beats monotony every time. Keep her nerve endings alert and responsive. Incorporate grinding. Maximize her pleasure while giving yourself better control. Stay present. Listen to her body. Adapt to her responses and remain fully engaged. Practice these 5 elements consistently, and you'll notice changes almost immediately, not just in her reactions, but in your own confidence and satisfaction. Now let me pause for a moment because I know some of you may be feeling pressure or doubt. Maybe you've struggled with premature ejaculation before. Maybe you felt like you disappointed a partner. Maybe you're worried you're too old or past your prime to improve. Let me tell you the truth. It's never too late to become a better lover. I've worked with men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s who discovered that with the right techniques and attention to their overall health, they could become more skilled lovers than they were in their 20s. This isn't about chasing perfection or comparing yourself to unrealistic standards. It's about presence, connection, and making small adjustments that create profound differences. My patient Thomas, at 58, came to me feeling like his best years were behind him. 6 months after implementing these techniques, he told me, "Dr. Whittaker, my wife says I'm the best lover she's ever had, and we've been together for 25 years. So breathe. You're not broken. You're learning. And that willingness to learn and improve already puts you ahead of most men. Here's what I've learned after treating thousands of men. Women don't want a performance. They want an experience. They want to feel desired, cherished, and deeply connected to you. When you slow down, tease strategically, vary your approach, incorporate grinding, and stay truly present, you're not just giving her physical pleasure, you're giving her emotional safety, confidence in your connection, and the feeling that she matters deeply to you. And in return, you'll feel her desire, her trust, and her passion grow for you in ways you never imagined possible. That's not about tricks or techniques. That's about being the kind of man who understands that real intimacy involves both body and soul. Let's talk about some additional factors that can enhance everything we've discussed. Physical health optimization. Your cardiovascular health directly impacts your performance. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, adequate sleep, and stress management all contribute to better intimate experiences. Communication. The best lovers aren't mind readers. They're excellent communicators. Don't be afraid to ask what she enjoys or to share what you're experiencing. Emotional connection. The strongest physical responses often come from deep emotional connection. Invest in your relationship outside the bedroom, and it will enhance everything inside the bedroom. Timing and environment. Create the right atmosphere, remove distractions, focus on comfort, and don't rush the experience. The techniques I've shared today are just the beginning. Becoming an exceptional lover is a journey, not a destination. Every encounter is an opportunity to learn more about your partner and refine your approach. Keep experimenting with the 5 secrets. Pay attention to her responses. Communicate openly. And remember that the best intimacy comes from genuine care and connection, not just physical technique. Gentlemen, here's the bottom line. The next time you're with your partner, don't ask yourself, "Am I good enough?" Instead, ask yourself, "Am I listening? Am I connecting? Am I making this moment about us, not just me?" If the answer is yes, then you're already giving her more than 90% of men ever will. You're showing her that she matters, that her pleasure is important to you, and that you're committed to being the best partner you can be. These 5 secrets, starting slow, strategic teasing, tempo variation, grinding techniques, and staying present, will transform your intimate life. But more importantly, they'll deepen your connection and strengthen your relationship in ways that extend far beyond the bedroom. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more men's health and relationship insights that can change your life. And here's my question for you. Drop a comment below and let me know what country you're watching from. I love connecting with men from around the world who are committed to becoming better partners and better men. Remember, your age doesn't define your potential. Small changes create profound transformations. You deserve an incredible intimate life, and so does your partner. I'm Dr. James Whittaker, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of your health, your relationships, and yourself, because you deserve nothing less than extraordinary.